Game Science has released a new trailer showing almost 13 minutes of gameplay footage from Black Myth Wukong. As evident by the impressive trailer below, the Chinese-developed action-adventure game continues to look extremely polished and eye-catching. Black Myth Wukong will be based on the beloved 16th-century novel, Journey to the West. The protagonist, Sun Wukong, has already been portrayed in a wide variety of games, but Black Myth makes the Monkey King its focal point. It is a game that borrows several elements from God of War and from Software's Dark Souls series, but the degree to which it adheres to the series formula has not yet been confirmed. The latest trailer for Black Myth Wukong states that the entire video is recorded in real-time in Unreal Engine 5, while also confirming that the game will support NVIDIA's DLSS technology. Right from the beginning, the game's visual style, environments, and character designs all look impressive. Sun Wukong is shown facing off against regular enemies in typical Souls-like fashion, before moving on to a boss fight. The fast-paced gameplay on display does a good job of showing how exhilarating combat encounters can be in Black Myth Wukong. The second boss fight takes place on a frozen lake, and is spectacular in its own unique way. Sun Wukong uses more of his abilities to dodge various attacks and special abilities, while also doing a lot of burst damage to a downed enemy. This encounter is followed by a collection of clips from the various boss battles and environments that will be present in the game. Black Myth Wukong has already shown footage of impressive boss fights, and this new trailer will just add to the hype and excitement surrounding the game. Black Myth Wukong is shaping up to be a graphical showcase, thanks to its detailed character models, impressive animations, and awe-inspiring boss fights. Fans of the genre should have plenty to look forward to in the coming years, as the developers had previously stated that they see Black Myth Wukong as the beginning of a new trilogy. While the game's release date may still be a few years away, it's reassuring to see Black Myth already in such an extremely polished state. However, pre-release footage may not always be a good indication of a game's visuals and performance on launch, as evident by the issues present in Cyberpunk 2077 upon its release last year. Starfield remains one of the most anticipated video games currently announced, despite Bethesda's upcoming RPG having been delayed into late 2022. This summer saw Bethesda share some early information about Starfield during Xbox's E3 2021 showcase, but the universe of Starfield remains largely secreted away. It seems Bethesda's ready to pull back the curtain a little more now, however. 3 short Starfield videos, each introducing a location within the game, have been released. Each trailer introduces a specific location that will be found within Starfield, showing concept art of the location and providing commentary delving into each city's lore. While that sounds like a relatively simple and interesting thing to do, for Starfield it's particularly shocking. That's because Bethesda has yet to truly introduce the idea that players will be visiting and interacting with aliens and other civilizations in Starfield. These videos are the first official introduction to other living beings in Starfield. The first location is named New Atlantis, which is perhaps a foreboding name. New Atlantis is described as the capital city of the United Colonies. The UC is Starfield's most powerful political and military faction. Bethesda describes New Atlantis as a true reflection of the future of Earth, as it's a melting pot of every race, creed, and ethnicity. The animated concept art shown in the video shows a huge, futuristic spaceport full of bright lights and skyscrapers. The remaining 2 videos introduce 2 significantly different Starfield locations, Neon and Aquila. Neon isn't a capital city, but it is a destination. It's a pleasure city where visitors seek out an escape from reality. Specifically, Neon is a fishing platform known for the drug Aurora, which is farmed from the fish in the waters around the city. Contrasting Neon is Aquila, which is the capital city of the Freestar Collective that governs 3 different star systems. Unlike New Atlantis, Aquila appears as a muddy outpost with squat buildings and bazaar-like market stalls. It's emblematic of the beliefs of the Freestar Collective's people, which embraces personal freedom and individuality. One other interesting detail worth mentioning is the Aquila video hints at some Starfield gameplay. It notes that the city is surrounded by a wall, and that beyond the wall is the deadly Ashta. The Ashta are predators most akin to a cross between velociraptors and wolves. In other words, Starfield players will assuredly be able to explore beyond each of these cities and into at least their surrounding areas. The message conveyed by these 3 videos is that Starfield isn't just a space exploration game. It's a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic or Mass Effect-like experience filled with alien civilizations, unique alien species, worlds to explore, and sci-fi stories to tell. One thing to note is that the game releases next year, and they are showing concept arts and slideshows now. They need to show some gameplay, running on the Xbox Series X. Moving forward, a recent comment from Obsidian studio design director suggests Avowed, The Outer Worlds 2, and his secret game are playable in some form. Obsidian Entertainment is proving itself to be a real RPG powerhouse for Microsoft, as the company has several big titles in development. This shouldn't come as too big of a surprise, though, as Obsidian Entertainment has been involved in many big titles. Obsidian's future lies in its ongoing support of grounded and upcoming projects like Avowed, The Outer Worlds 2, and its secret project. The former has been quiet for a while. The Outer Worlds 2 was just recently announced at E3 with some disrespect, and Obsidian's secret project remains behind the curtains. However, one recent comment may shed some light here. Obsidian Entertainment studio design director Josh Sawyer, who played a major role in Fallout New Vegas, Pillars of Eternity, and Obsidian itself, recently took part in a viral Twitter trend. There, he commented on the last 5 games he's played, but he would go on to add that the last 3 unreleased games he's played are Avowed, The Outer Worlds 2, and his game, The Secret Project. This would seemingly suggest that development on all 3 games is progressing smoothly and are in some form of playable state. Now, Sawyer adds nothing to suggest how playable these games are, as it could be in a super basic sandbox or a major area could be done. It could be for those or any number of reasons. Of course, that doesn't mean these games are anywhere near release either. Avowed was first announced back in July 2020, and nothing significant has been showcased since then. Avowed actually takes place in Sawyer's Pillars of Eternity Eora setting, though he isn't working on it directly. Meanwhile, the Outer World 2's E3 trailer was really self-aware, citing that developers hadn't done design, story, or any gameplay worth showing. As such, it's likely in a far less playable state than Avowed. Then, of course, there is Josh Sawyer's secret project, of which even less is known about. There's no title or anything for the game, with it only being known through brief mentions by Sawyer. Some have speculated it could be Pillars of Eternity 3, even though that seems less likely with Avowed in development. Some think it could be a new IP, which would be fitting. Others, the more optimistic fans, hope that a deal between Bethesda and Obsidian was brokered, and that Obsidian's secret project is Fallout New Vegas 2. In 2019, the initiative had confirmed that a playable demo is ready for the Perfect Dark reboot. But we heard no information or have seen no gameplay from Perfect Dark. I don't know why they didn't show Perfect Dark gameplay, and also the senior designer left the studio at the start of this year. As we spoke about Starfield before, they need to show some gameplay for that too. Something is clearly wrong with the management at Xbox and Microsoft, as they affect and hinder developers' creativity, which can be seen with the Halo Infinite situation, where the campaign is not shown a single time after the delay. And many features like co-op, forge, assassinations, earning XP through progressing are intentionally cut out and keep adding them through seasons to keep players in the service. But it could also affect the game at launch, and we will hear the Game Pass excuse again. I hope that Halo Infinite does good, and if it doesn't, then who knows what will happen to the franchise. Speaking of Xbox, Xbox Cloud Gaming has been gradually rolled out to a variety of platforms over the past year. A service that is still currently in beta, it allows for players to stream Xbox titles to their phone or computer and soon, their console if they are subscribed to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and have a strong enough internet connection. The games are streamed from servers around the world that are running Series X hardware, making for must-have online gameplay. Only as of June did Xbox Cloud Gaming become available for Game Pass Ultimate subscribers on PC and mobile, so it is still a growing service. Early into Gamescom 2021, Microsoft announced that Xbox Cloud Gaming would be coming to Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S this holiday. Users playing on the former console will be able to stream the latter console's games despite playing on older hardware. Since this service is locked behind Game Pass Ultimate, it means that subscribers, who are still on Xbox One, will still be able to access titles that could only be intended for Series X and S and PC users. This follows the announcement earlier this month that Xbox is bringing back its Remote Play feature as well. It looks like as they really need to grow the Game Pass service to a higher number, they are leaving the console space. Game sales and console sales are not reported by them, and it looks like they are going in with cloud and services, which is a different direction in comparison with traditional gaming practices. Microsoft literally told that you don't need a Series console to play next-gen games, and they did not recommending to buy their console. Instead, they are adamant in their cloud and services promotion, in which I am afraid that it affects the quality of the games coming from them, and releasing games that are half-baked and features cut off from them. If this is the route Xbox goes, then I don't know what will happen to Fable, Perfect Dark, and Hellblade. They can still make quality games, with games as a service, but forcing a game into that dimension and forcing developers particularly for that is not a good practice, and I am not with the practice of turning legendary franchises into live service games. Up next we have an interesting and quite a good announcement from Gamescom. Dozens of games have been showcased as part of Wednesday's Gamescom opening night live event, but few have shocked as much DokeV. Framed as a Pokemon-like game where players hunt down and capture creatures born from people's dreams, DokeV's trailer revealed a gorgeous open-world adventure with Kingdom Hearts-like graphics and action. Needless to say, DokeV appears to be a game worth paying attention to at Gamescom and in the months to come. The trailer for DokeV starts off relatively innocuously. It shows different children interacting in various city settings. This itself is impressive, as DokeV's setting is impressively large, and it's implied the other children are multiplayer characters all inhabiting the same world. As such, this huge city appears to be a persistent setting like in Grand Theft Auto Online where players congregate, interact, and have fun together. And as the full trailer shows later, it's a very large map. It's when the trailer introduces combat that DokeV goes a little bit crazy. Encounters create a sort of bubble within the open-world environment where combat takes place. Enemies include giant monsters that are very imaginative. And to fight the monsters, the player is able to summon their collected dream creatures, as well as weapons seemingly conjured out of thin air. Combat is incredibly reminiscent of Kingdom Hearts 3, with a lot of verticality and unique party-based action and abilities. Notably, combat did not look multiplayer. It's likely that most people watching Gamescom ONL were entirely unfamiliar with DokeV, but the truth is that DokeV's development has been known since it was officially announced in 2019. At that point, it was introduced as a creature-collecting game developed by South Korean studio Pearl Abyss, the developer of Black Desert Online. However, since then, Pearl Abyss has been very quiet about DokeV's development, at least with regards to Western marketing. The result is that it isn't entirely clear what DokeV is, even after the very exciting trailer. Jeff Keighley announced it as an open-world action-adventure game at Gamescom ONL, which implies that it may no longer be an MMO. The new trailer also didn't appear to show any direct multiplayer footage, though it was potentially hinted at. It's also unclear how much of a creature-collecting game DokeV is, as the trailer focused almost entirely on action. To start off, it looks like players will be free to customize their own character in the MMORPG DokeV. These adorable but childlike humans populate the world players will get to explore. And much like Grand Theft Auto, it seems as this open-world game allows players to interact with one another freely and limitlessly. And to throw in a little bit of K-pop into DokeV beyond the song used in the Gamescom 2021 trailer, Rockstar, a character is shown drawing a symbol in front of them and transforming into a shimmering gold costume, complete with some dance moves. In another shot, the player's avatar transforms into futuristic gear almost anime style, but now without an iconic K-pop dance pose. These choreographed costume changes seem to be how players get into battle mode. Some gamers have compared DokeV's combat to Monster Hunters, but fighting alongside creatures that players have captured along the way. The trailer didn't actually showcase any creature collecting, however, so that is yet to be seen. As for the combat, Weaponry so far ranges from melee items like hammers and bouncing balls, whereas long-ranged combat includes the use of water guns and even a magic hat. In addition to the fighting and flying, DokeV allows players to take part in much more quaint activities as well, such as fishing and kite flying. And crossing between Grand Theft Auto and Splatoon, it looks like exploration is a big draw of DokeV. Players can traverse the stunning scenery by way of umbrellas, jet skis, cars, and skateboards so far. There's also some kind of spectral grappling hook, allowing players to swing from one location to the next 50 feet in the air. What makes this all possible is the whole world of DokeV is a dream world, which explains how psychedelic the trailer gets as time passes. One moment, the player character is floating to town with an umbrella, and the next, they're smashing a robot with a glitching rainbow hammer. Toward the end of the trailer, one character is shown getting sucked into a tiny dollhouse, presumably into DokeV's world, implying that it's some sort of alternate reality. It's certainly very unique compared to AAA MMOs currently on the market. DokeV could be the next big MMORPG out there. While many MMOs end up being a lot of the same gameplay with different art styles, dungeon crawling, loot collecting, and monster killing more recently, the games industry has seen developers take the genre in a different direction, such as with Palia, which is much more relaxing and community-based. DokeV, as well, breathes new life into MMOs. Needless to say, there's a lot left for Pearl Abyss to confirm about DokeV in the months to come. The good news is that after today's Gamescom ONL trailer, there are going to be a lot more fans excited for more information. So far, there's currently no release date or window for DokeV, but the developer says they will share more news when it's able to. Moving forward, a supposedly leaked footage of the rumored Mandalorian video game appears online, showing what it would play like. The Mandalorian may very well be the flagship show for Disney+, even with new Marvel Cinematic Universe series now being added on a regular basis. The Mandalorian is set in the Star Wars universe and has earned widespread critical acclaim for its action scenes, character development, memorable moments, and of course, the affectionately nicknamed Baby Yoda. Now it seems that a full-fledged video game based on the Mandalorian may be in development, if supposedly leaked footage is to be believed. The leaked Mandalorian game footage has been making the rounds online, having apparently been filmed off-screen at some kind of presentation. I cannot show the leaked footage here, because it could result in a copyright strike. It starts by showing off the Mandalorian game's menu, which has Baby Yoda and 4 chapters available for players to choose from. They can choose Chapter 1 This is the Way, Chapter 2 The Easy Job, Chapter 3 The Coin Toss, or Chapter 4 The Escape. The person playing the demo chooses to start Chapter 4. After selecting Chapter 4, the video shows a loading screen explaining Beskar ingots. Similarly to their role in the TV show, Beskar ingots can improve Mandalorian armor in the video game, and will serve as a collectible that players can find in the game world. After the loading screen, players can see this so-called Mandalorian video game in action. Based on the footage, it appears as though this Mandalorian video game is going to be a third-person shooter, with players able to utilize Mando's unique gadgets. So not only will players be blasting stormtroopers, but they can also attack them with Mando's signature flamethrower, for example. The footage shows Mando using his skills to take out various enemies on an Empire ship before a cutscene brings the presentation to the end. Now, it must be stressed that this may not be real. There have been rumors of a Mandalorian video game for some time, but that doesn't mean one actually exists. It's entirely possible that this footage has been faked somehow, though that seems like a lot of effort to fake a video game. Alternatively, it's possible that this was a tech demo made to try to pitch a Mandalorian video game. All Star Wars fans can do is speculate until an official announcement is made. It's also worth pointing out that the YouTube channel this video was uploaded to, Christopher Turner, is full of Unreal Engine creation videos. Perhaps the most likely explanation is that this is simply a fan mockup using Unreal Engine creation tools, and not a leak at all. That would certainly explain why the video is still live on YouTube and hasn't been taken down by any copyright claims. There are a variety of Star Wars video games in active development that have been confirmed, but it wouldn't be surprising at all if there's secret ones on the way as well. For now, fans should treat this footage with a grain of salt, as this footage could be part of a project made in dreams. And that's all for the video, guys. Like and share the video for a greater audience. Comment your thoughts on the topics, and donations are always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then, from SMPV, it's goodbye.